What does it take to be a double Olympic champion? To keep focused when people are trashing you, some calling you mental, and you yourself sometimes wonder why you do it and whether you can even get it done. We have history maker Elaine Thompson-Herah in the studio with us this evening. Stick around as we try to get answers to those questions and more. I'm Archibald Gordon, and this is Profile. Elaine Thompson-Herah, welcome to Profile.
Thanks for having me.
So, double Olympic champion. You had this dream of doing this a long time, and it finally materialized, beginning with the winning of the 100 meters in the last Olympics. And you almost looked shocked when you're crossing the line. Were you?
Yes, I was shocked, of course, To go to the Olympic is every girl's dream, every young girl's dream, and that was my second Olympic, And to claim my second title, it was a surreal feeling. I was shocked because of the injuries that I was having earlier in the season, which, when human nature kicks in, doubt yourself. And to cross that finishing line with the Olympic record, it was amazing. So I was a little shocked, of course.
Your family were looking on while you were doing this. So you have your grandmother, who has this absolutely awesome celebration that all of us seen. Have you seen that celebration?
Honestly, I've seen it on Facebook, When I was scrolling through, I ran across that video. I was like, this is my grandmother, and all that excitement. I know she's that type of person, because I remember I called her early in the season. I was saying to her, boy, mama, the foot are bad at me. And she was like, just keep on praying. And she was like, pat her knee them and pray. She's that spiritual, So when I saw her, that reaction, I know she was just a proud grandmother.
And you grew up with her. She's always been proud of you, always been expressing this sort of pride, always making you know that you are special. Is that what she was like growing up? Yes,
because, I was grown in the church, so I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so she's that type of person always pushing you and encouraging you to do the right thing, and she always forces you to put God first, that is always in the mix. And she always tells you to just believe, and if you ever doubt yourself, she's always that one person to ever just slap that out of you, not to doubt yourself. So, and she always wants the best for me because she's around knowing that I'm a runner. I love track and field, I grew up watching the other women doing their thing. So for her to see me actually doing that, I know she's very proud.
And you were always running, and not just involved in track and field, but doing different things as well.
Yes, because I am a fan of every sport, I tried football, I love to play netball, but the passion was just for track and field running. I'm going to the shop, post office. She can't even catch me to beat me, and I don't normally get beaten, but, I'm always on the go.
What was she, when did it strike you that this was going to be a sort of a talent for you? Because it's perhaps normal for a lot of young children to be running around, but when did you start to say, there's something special here, something I can do?
Honestly, Archie, it was always there, Even my first year in high school, I went to the Christiana High School, and I was not doing track and field. It was still in me, even though I missed that particular year. But, church sports, school sports, I am beating those big girls. So, I had it in me. Whatever I put my mind to, I'm going to do it. So it was just always there. There's no championship or no event with track and field I ever missed. I was always tuning. If my grandmother called me to do something, I'm not going to move because I have to see that race or anything first. So it just is a love for me that it grows inside of me. I don't know where it comes from my parents, but it's a love that just inside of me. It's natural.
Talk to me a little bit about your parents as well. you're always not growing up with them, but they were always in the picture as well. What was that relationship like?
Well, I would say my parents don't really know much about track and field until I probably turn a celebrity, you know. My father, he works every day, he's a barber. My mother, she's not really a working person, but I don't think they follow up that sports more like you have a child who loves that sports, but you don't follow it up. But my grandmother, she pushes me to do that because, you know, she saw persons in the community who have got scholarship and move on to colleges and stuff like that. So she wants me to head in that path. But my parents don't really think about that. They're more like, my father's a football person, so not track and field. Probably I know when his daughter is a star, you know, so yeah.
But in terms of that relationship with sports that you're talking about then, you always were running, you were always doing different kinds of sports, and you then had the opportunity to pick between two schools, Christiana High that you referenced before, and to pick Homewood High, which would have had a much more prolific history in terms of track and field. So why go to Christiana?
Well, it was between Manchester and Homewood.
Manchester, I'm sorry, yes.
Well, funny enough, you know, I passed my GSAT for the Christiana High School. And I said to myself, I want to have that experience of another school. So I went to Christiana High School and I spent 3 years there. You know, but the track and field program was not that good for me to push my career. So I went off to the Manchester High School, you know. It was between Homewood and Manchester High. But between my parents and I to make that decision, I said to them, well, they said to me, it's still in Christiana, so why not move closer to home, which is just one taxi away from home, and my father works in Mandeville. So it was pretty much flexible for me, so I chose Manchester High School.
So you picked Manchester High School. You have this urge to run, to be a track athlete, but then you go to a school with all of these stars, and you are on the reserve. Your reserve, you're doing well, but not necessarily at the level of the other persons that you would have seen in your time. Did you feel or think in a moment, boy, you know, this is not really for me, I shouldn't be doing this?
I didn't feel any way. It was just for the experience for me. I want to be in that clothes, that gear that they're wearing. I want to match out, go to track meets. So if I was not even on the list to run, I'm going to be on that bus. So I was that girl, very supportive on that team. But I still booked my spot, you know, even though the girls were there faster than me. I still booked my spot because I remember I ran my class 2 last 1 year where I came 4th in the 100 meters and 6th in the 200. So I still have a little experience, so I think looking back on that time in Manchester High School, I would say it helps me now because I was not overworked, you know, so that prepares me now for my bigger track and field career, which I was not overworked in my teenage days.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about that bigger track and field career, which, you know, turned out to be a monumental track and field career, really, with that double Jamaican historic record, but also world history, really. So we're talking to double Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah, and we're going to be returning with you after the break.